Adrian, thanks for letting me come and see the stables and doing this interview.
Brilliant place, isn't it? Plenty of history here.
Very much so. A lot of character, but love the fact it's very much old school, which Gai Waterhouse is very much the old school. But you're the new school coming through, and how is that partnership going? And how do you actually come about to get into that partnership?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been an absolute whirlwind, I must say. So I think we're into our 7th year of the partnership, and yeah, as I said, a lot of history there. The father trained through here. He won, I think it was 33 consecutive training premierships in Sydney. Like, that's phenomenal. And I know Chris Waller's on the way. He's done about 12 years. So you know, like when you put that into perspective, like that's how long he dominated Sydney racing for. Gai in her own right broke plenty of those records that her father held. So yeah, you can imagine it's pretty daunting actually jumping into partnership with her, and you go, geez, there's a whole lot of history you've got to uphold here, and you know, you've got to continue to be successful first and foremost, and you're obviously judging your results. So that was probably an interesting part. Just sort of, it was very. I'd only been working at the stables and for Gai for 4 years prior to that, so relatively new in comparison to sort of plenty of people who'd sort of had the experience through here. So that was just the daunting part, having the confidence to do that, how to be perceived within the industry, within our owners. Like a lot of people at that stage, questioning yourself: can I train? Can I do it? Am I ready? What's Gai doing here, sort of thing. So it worked out well. She gave me the opportunity and said, look, I want to go into partnership together. What do you think about that? And jumped at it with both hands and worked towards it. It happened pretty quickly, and it's just been a huge learning curve ever since. Yeah,
and she's obviously a very confident person, so no doubt she would have handballed you some of that confidence, and having that person there whenever you need, you just ask them a question or a bit of advice, that'd be great for your development.
Definitely, just to have that mentor in your life, and it's so good to have a mentor in all sort of facets. But like, it's not just a mentor, she Legend Hall of Fame status now, isn't she? So like, it's been phenomenal, and she's great on personal level, business, and then obviously with the training, she's been there at every step of the way for me. And actually, that was one of the questions I always ask, why do you love working about Gai? When I first started here, and it was what you said, just gives you so much confidence in what you do. I was amazed in my first job here, first job in racing, just the level of responsibility that I was given to straight off the bat. She didn't mind. It was
throwing you in the deep end.
Yeah, there was no task was sort of too big. It was just like, I've got the confidence in you to go do this, just go get it done, sort of thing. And you're like, oh wow, I can't believe, I'm getting to do this, or and whatever role that was throughout the business at that stage. But it just instilled a lot of confidence in yourself. You go, wow, like I'm getting trusted with this, and that sort of really just sort of helped you sort of grow very, very quickly. So she's been like that from the outset, and whatever role I was. So when we went into partnership, to have that bold personality, that confidence. She was always, what are you waiting for? Go get your license. And I was sort of stalling it a bit. Let's just wait it out for another season or something. Get on and do it. So she's been great like that, and pushes you, and in a mentor role has always sort of pushed you out of your comfort zone, which is what you need, isn't it? Didn't want to be sort of comfortable in the role that we had, or how you're going to excel or take the business to the next level, or take your personal development to the next level whenever you thought you were on your way to achieving that. The goalpost move a little bit more again and again and again. So she was always been very good in that regard.
And that partnership's only like relatively young.
Yes.
There's a little race called the Everest that's only relatively young when you think about Spring Carnival as a whole and all the big races. The Everest in Sydney has sort of changed the landscape, hasn't it? Because I'm from Melbourne, and everyone's talking about the Everest. They're not talking about Melbourne Cup, Cox Plate or Derby. They're talking about the Everest. And why do you think that the racing community has embraced that race so much? I know it's the cash. That's one part of it, but
really is fascinating. Obviously, the prize money helps, no doubt. A lot of it are sort of made up of local horses, but I think it's the intrigue of sort of the shape of it. It's really a relevant topic for 12 months. Yeah. Really. So from the minute it's run on Saturday, you're already sort of looking at potential calculations for next year. What slot holder's going to make a play? So the race can always sort of take shape at any sort of stage. So it's always quite a relevant topic. So whatever winner happens to be on Saturday, you may get one of the slot holders say, all right, well, I'm going to make an aggressive play now and lock it in. Or, they may play a strategy to wait. But I think it's those different sort of strategies that evolve throughout the year that probably always leaves it a relevant story to tell. So the prize money helps. The new concept, maybe it being a younger generation to sort of resonate with it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's maybe why it is. But it is, I must say, it has been so fascinating to watch the development of the race and how much it's actually really, how much people have. I wasn't necessarily say sceptical, but like it's always hard just to get people to gravitate to the, like it's what we're always trying to do within the industry. Biggest topic: how do we generate new people into racing? How do we get them to watch racing, get involved, and
get them excited about
it. Get excited. It's not easy to do, so I didn't think one race could do it as quickly and as successfully as what it has. So, full credit to Peter V'landys in having that vision and seeing it, and maybe it's just the way he's so bold in everything that he does with the everything. Like the barrier draw, I don't know. We're going on a boat somewhere tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, but he
might have something up his sleeve.
He's always got something up his sleeve that just makes it that little bit out of the ordinary that sort of makes it the Everest, and that's just been the theme all the way through.
And there's a little bit of drama this year. Craig Williams got kicked off the favourite, and then the favourite obviously withdrew because it was injured. J-Mac didn't have a ride. Now he's got a ride. You've got two runners now.
We've picked them both up both of those riders.
You've got both those riders, so it's like, even like you were talking about all the stories on the way through, and that could be 12 months, it could be 2 weeks. Your two runners, you're excited about them. One's the outsider, and I'm assuming if that one gets up, it's not going to be an alcohol-free night.
Not.
But Hawaii 5-0 as well is an up-and-coming.
Yeah, it's amazing, like you said, for all that, watching the race unfold for, 11 and a half months of the year, to not have a runner and then just pip in late with two chances, which I don't mind, because I was only thinking about it this morning. Like I was very, I just seemed a lot more anxious at the track work this morning, watching their final gallops and just overthinking and over-analysing everything, which I haven't done all year, know. And now all of a sudden it's just, hang on, why am I doing this? And I'm like, hang on, I'm glad these weren't accepted months out, because
you would have been stressing.
I've been walking the box for months. So the fact that it's sort of just the weeks arrived here, and it's been allowed to prepare the horses as normal and allow them to do the speaking and sort of get here sort of organically themselves, I guess, and not have to change or overthink things on the way. All the work's been done, and they've been good enough to just sort of land in late on their own merits. So I think that's probably helped in my preparation more than anything. But I think we've got two really live chances. I think even though they both may even be slightly outside the market, I don't see them as... I see it a wide open race. We've got two excellent and experienced jockeys. They've won it before. They know what it takes. Craig Williams won it last year on an outsider. I think he could kick,
$20 or something.
Yeah, so I think it'll suit the mare really, really well. Like you said, he's hungry off a point to prove. Like you said, the way everything sort of developed beforehand. So it'll suit really well. She's opened a lot of improvement. She's a top class mare. I'd love to deliver a result for Yulong, for putting the faith and what they're putting into the industry. You like to see them be successful and do well. They had a great result last weekend with another mare they purchased, so hopefully we can do that. And then, Singo and Jerry Harvey, and Ray Hadley,
won't be alcohol free. That's for sure.
What a combo for those guys that have raced some amazing horses throughout their lives, had some great success. Here they are with a new concept race, and they're probably more excited than ever going to a race day on Saturday. So, Luke McDonald, James's brother, he manages all the sort of connections there and the stock for Jerry Harvey, his racing manager. So I think that helped with the connection to get James on board the inside running there, no doubt. So James got a feel for him this morning. He hadn't sat on him for a while. I think it was sort of quite important, because when he did, it was pretty early in the prep, and he was a bit sluggish at that stage. It takes a bit of racing to sort of wake up. So I think he felt a different beast this morning. So hopefully that got him a little bit excited.
That is exciting. And we've just finished up the AFL season, grand final, NRL grand final. I asked a couple of jockeys before, what's their grand final? But for you as a trainer, what's your grand final? Is it pretty much every Saturday? You're sending multiple horses out there to get a win. It might be their first start or their grand final for that race. What's your grand final for the Spring Carnival?
Yeah, no doubt. Within these big weekends, each horse has got its particular sort of targets and main goals, and like you said, it may be the maiden horse that we're just sort of looking at its grand finals tomorrow at Kembla Grange sort of thing, But no doubt, the big pressure and what we build up and what we really strive to do is to have horses ready for these big days, and that I must say the carnivals are stretching a little bit longer, so that grand final might be about 6 weeks now, I guess. There's $1 million races every weekend that you look through, but no doubt this is the biggest, 20 million, so that adds a heightened pressure to it. But Sunday morning we've got to wake up and do it all again. The horses have got more grand finals next week. There's probably another 10 million to be racing for next week and the week after. Melbourne as well. You've got Caulfield Cups coming up, Cox Plates, Melbourne Cups. So there's a lot of different targets, and some of even keeping some of these horses up. So you've sort of got to reset. You don't get too long to sort of
enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not like after the Everest there's a nice off season to train off for a while. So we've got to keep fronting up every sort of day of the week. But no doubt, like through winter and that, it's a bit quieter, the pressure's off, but you've still got Queensland carnivals. So there's a lot of different sort of areas to always sort of keep you focused. But no doubt for us, our home game here, you feel a heightened sort of sense of carnival build-up and grand final here for sure.
And you've got a fair few horses here in these stables, but give me a couple of the most exciting ones. Like you've turned around Alligator Blood, and now it's like the most loved horse going around now, because everyone just loves to see it running well and obviously having a few wins. But then you've got Just Fine as well, who potentially go to the Melbourne Cup. And after we talked about before about like injuries, White Marlin was the favourite like a month ago or even longer. It was, and now that's out. So what's the most exciting horse you're looking forward to seeing in this spring? And what's someone that we might not know about that you think is going to be?
Yeah, obviously first just touching on Alligator Blood, he's been phenomenal, like almost sort of career-changing sort of type of horse. So hard to get those weight for age performers. Since the partnerships begun, he would be our he's won the most Group 1s for us. So like amazing. In a 12 sort of 18-month period. So and hopefully he's not done yet. So like it's just phenomenal to have that calibre of horse come into the yard, and I didn't realise the following for him until we sort of really had him. I knew he was, a very good horse and knew a lot about him, but I didn't know the significance of the public behind him. I must say, like, since we had him, like, he's the most asked about horse anywhere. I sort of go to the races. Someone can say, how's Alligator Blood? Oh, well done with Alligator Blood. So good to see. Like, he's just, like you said, he is a bit of a...
It's a good story.
It's been a phenomenal story. So he's been very touching. He's a tough horse, incredibly tough. So I hope he can keep kicking goals for us this spring. So always excited when he's running, and always an element of, it gives you a lot of confidence to the horse. He's a tough competitor. He's going to go out and sort of put it all on the line for us. So he's been grand. Just Fine, amazing progression that he's made in such a short period of time. He's going to have to now, he's going to be penalised for what he's done in such a short period. He won a Group 1 Metropolitan 50 kilos, so now he's going to be exposed. There'll be no hiding going forward. So hopefully he's got that improvement going into the autumn, next campaign, which I think he'll have. He's still a lightweight chance in the Melbourne Cup. See if we can stretch him out. So he'll go down and run in a weight for age race and try and have a sort of nice lead up to there. But the autumn sort of where we're really focusing on him. Huya Mal, we saw run on Saturday, ran second in the Hill Stakes narrowly. The horse has taken a little bit of time to get right, but I think we've really sort of got him now, and he's got that potential X factor if we can get him right. So he'll probably be like a Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup type of horse. one we've got in the quarantine centre, New Endeavour. Amazing sort of what he did in Europe for us in a short period of time. He progressed really well, and he's got a sharp turn of foot, or sharp sort of acceleration, turn of speed, which we don't see from a lot of Europeans. So he could be a really interesting one. He's going to run the Golden Eagle, but hard coming off the plane. Maybe the autumn he could be a real top class horse for us going forward. That might be one to watch out for. Yeah.
So I spoke to the jockeys before, a couple of jockeys, and Sam Clipperton rides horses for a living, and then outside of riding horses for a living to relax, he goes and rides horses at his farm. So 500. So I'm like, I thought that was a little bit strange. So what does Adrian Bott do to get away from racing, to get away from that pressure you were talking about, leading up to a big day? What is something that you just go, if I do that, I can take my mind off everything to do with racing?
It's a unique industry like that, isn't it? You know, we love what we do, and for the pressures that are in there, we do always just find ourselves gravitating back to something to do with the industry. If I'm away somehow, I'm always just looking back to, you know, following the race and watching the race and just wishing I was at the races anyway. So it's a little bit difficult. I must say, haven't quite found that right balance of what that sort of separation or release potentially is yet. You know, sort of bad at going and picking up the golf clubs or the tennis racket or something again that would have done a while back. So we do get sort of pretty laser focused when we're here. There's a lot sort of happening, and we can't just, the jockeys at times can just sort of go ride their race and then put it behind them, you know, or prepare for the next day, or when they get off the horse, their job's done for the day. You know, we've still got, there's a lot more that continues to sort of happen with that. You know, we've got to, continue to sort of speak with the owners following the race, and sort of whether we're managing expectations or relations there following a good result or poor result, continuing to manage the horse, looking at where we prepare them next, you know, the recovery the next day, the preparation, like it, there's still...
Doesn't stop.
Yeah, it doesn't stop, you know, like you really are 24/7 always sort of having to think about some element of that particular horse or race or its program, and that's multiplied by obviously another number of horses. We've got 120 in training here, I'd say. So, you know, there's always a bit to look at, and you know, there's racing every day. So it's pretty full on. But we all make choices, and we're all here because we love the sport, we love the racing, love what we do, love the people around us, the people we get to work with, the owners we get to meet. Like, we meet all walks of life, you know, and it's amazing. You know, some of the most successful people in business, whether it be in Australia or internationally, and you know, they can be in whatever board meeting you want, you know, whatever important meeting, you know, you ring to tell them about their horse. Everything's on hold. They want,
gotta take this.
They want to know, you know, like it's an amazing industry in that regard.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing talking to you, because obviously you're very passionate about what you do, and no doubt looking forward to this weekend and the spring carnival, going down to Melbourne and trying to pinch a cup down there. So thank you very much for allowing us to come out here.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on the show.
No worries.